Hello everyone, welcome back to our video number 2 on day 1, that is of 9th October. And in this video, I want to educate people with the basic fundamentals. If you are very new to the front-end development, so I'm concentrating on the front-end development in this video, where I'll be helping you people understand the basics of HTML and CSS. Okay, that's it. No more, no less. Okay. So I want you people to be getting familiar with these terminologies, which we'll be using in HTML. Okay. So for that, I'll be starting with HTML first. Okay. HTML, in which we have three terms, technical terms to learn. Tag or element, okay, attribute, and the value. So these are the three terms. Tag, some they call it as tag, some people call it as element, some they call it as attribute, and some they call it as a value. So to make it simple and to make it easy, so the next one, what I'll be explaining is the syntax of this one. Okay, what is syntax? Syntax is the language what your computer understands. Syntax is a simple term given for the grammar. Okay, syntax in English we use grammar. In computer language we use syntax. What is the syntax for HTML? People who are beginners, okay, I want you people to learn 5 tags every day. Okay, keep an habit of at least reach the number 100 to 200 in next couple of days. What is the basic syntax of a tag? It goes like this. First comes the lesser symbol. It is simple with this. Okay, so you can see this one. This is known as opening tag. Let me take the mouse pointer. This is known as opening tag, and this is known as closing tag. Okay, this is the syntax. So in between this one, what you people have to write is the tag name, like this. So when it comes to your tag, okay, this is your tag. Tag comes with an attribute is equal to double quotes with a value. If you have attribute is equal to value. As simple as this one. Okay, tag, attribute, value. So if you follow this syntax, trust me, HTML is done. Trust me, HTML is done. This is known as opening tag. This is known as closing tag. So let's take an example of this one. Okay. So tag, attribute, value, tag, attribute, value. So my favorite. So in between this, you'll have the content. Okay. Opening tag, closing tag, in between this, you'll be having the content. So if you learn 3 technical terms, tag, attribute, value, you're done with HTML. Okay, if I'm training people, I'll not train much more than this one. So I'll go with a very simple terminologies like tag, attribute, and value to explain you people and make you understand on this one. My favorite is marquee tag. Okay, I'll open a new file. I'll type the marquee tag, open, or I'll make it simple. This is my opening tag. This is my closing tag. And here I'll be typing the tag called marquee. I'm not explaining any HTML version here. HTML has different versions. I'm not telling that it is HTML5, HTML4, 4.01, nothing. So this is my tag. Let's compare this with our syntax. Tag name is done. Okay. Do we need attribute value? It depends. Okay. It depends. So here, this is my tag and I'll type hello world here. And I'll save it. So whenever you want to save it, you will be saving it with whichever the folder you want, whichever the folder. So I'll be keeping this as simple as in the HTML folder. And do we need any internet? Do we need any server? No. So I'll call this one as example1 dot html. Dot html is the html is the okay. And save it. And if I have a client call, I'll be jumping on that one for 2 to 3 minutes. Thank you. Just a minute. Thank you very much. So I was on a client call. So let me jump back to this one. So what I was explaining is a tag, attribute, and value, right? So when I was explaining tag, attribute, and value, currently I just have a tag name, attribute, and value is optional, which we will discuss as and when we progress in our learning. So this is my HTML. So I'll open the browser, okay, and I'll open the file, Control O, the shortcut. I'll go to my HTML folder. I'll open this one. So what do you observe? So you observe this is my favorite tag. Okay. To explain HTML, this is my favorite tag. Hello world. Okay. This is my tag, which is running with hello world, right? So it's a default one. So I want to change the direction. What is direction? Direction is the attribute and the value will be right. Okay. I'll save this. Now compare this one. Tag, attribute, value. Okay. Let me reload the browser again. You can see that direction changed. So in HTML, you have a tag, attribute, value. Attribute and value depends on the tag name. So let me change this. So now I want it to be behavior. Behavior is the attribute. So you might have a question, Chandra, how do we learn of all these things? Anyhow, you have W3 schools and many more. Each tag has a different attribute and the value. So behavior, what I want is alternate. Okay, I'll save this. I'll click on refresh again. And this might take time. So I'll just reload the browser to 200% by clicking this icon here. And I'll reload the browser again. So let us see how it works. Now let us see how the attribute and value works. Keep an eye on this one. You can see that, right? So now the question is, what all the different values you can give? You cannot give the value whatever you want. HTML comes with everything predefined. I have alternate, I have um, I forgot. Alternate as one. Uh, what will you be doing? Very simple. Mark you. Um, behavior values. You just type 3 words, you'll get all the values. We have ChatGPT and more here, right? Yeah, we have scroll and slide, scroll and alternate. See, I forgot the names. That's fine. It's been very long. So I can type scroll now. If you type anything else, it will be defaulted. So let us now reload the browser. Wait. It is scroll now. See the behavior, it goes in and comes here. Right? That is the behavior. Scroll. Now let me type slide. Save it. I'll always change the one. Now let me reload the browser. That's it. Okay. So if you can recall this one and replicate, you can learn any tag now. Mark you is a tag. Direction, behavior is attributes. Right and slide are values. Now let's assume that I make a mistake here, like ABCD and ABCD. What will happen? There is no error in HTML, but it will be all defaulted to default behavior. I'll just reload the browser, take the mouse away. You can see the direction is left, which is default. There is no error in HTML. It is scrolling, right? It is scrolling. If I make it as slide, the spelling should be right. Uppercase, lowercase doesn't matter. What is the direction? Direction is left by default. Behavior is this one. Okay, one. Observe this. There are many other attributes. Okay, let me help you to go with loop. Loop is an attribute. I'll type the value. Value should be in always double quotes. Concentrate on slide and 3. Okay. Anyhow, direction is defaulted. Observe the screen. This is slide number 1. Slide number 2. Slide number 3. And it stops. Okay. Now, if I make this as alternate, I'll make the direction as right. Okay. GST. Now let us combine these things. First, it should go in right direction. Alternate means it will go and come within the window. So this will work only once. Anyhow, it is alternate, and then it is 3. Let me reload the browser. I've saved it. Okay. Every time I'll make edits, I'll save it. I'll reload it. If you understand this, means you have understood HTML. Very basics. Right side 1, going to the left is 2. And then it is 3. So what is that you need to learn now? You need to start exploring HTML tags, attribute and values. So going back to the basics, you have a tag, you have attribute, you have value. So you have to list all the tags, try to list the tags, and each one will have an attribute, and each value, you cannot write whatever you want. It is all predefined. It is all predefined. If you understand this as your syntax, means you're almost done with basic HTML. Okay. There are many things which we will be learning as we progress. So I want to just move on with my next concept, which is CSS. CSS comes with, once again, 3 technical terms. One is known as the tag name, once again, tag name or element. Some they call it as property also. Okay, I'll go with the tag name or element for now. Or it is known as selector. It is known as selector. Okay, that is the technical term. Then comes property and value. Property and value. Okay. Then comes property and value. So you people have to learn inline, internal, and external styling. Where will you write the CSS? You'll write the selector, property and value. Write the selector, property and value. One is inline, the other one is internal, the other one is external. Right? So I'll go with a very simple. So concentrate on these technical terms, property and value. First, let's go with property and value. In HTML, as we know, attribute and value. Here we have property and value. Okay. I will take the same example of this one, where I'll be removing all these attributes. Okay, let me do this one. Okay. Same. I'll go with example 2 dot HTML. This example is my CSS. So now I'll go with style attribute. Okay, style attribute. So to make it simple, I will be writing the syntax here. Okay. Tag name, open, tag name, close. Inline scripting or inline styling, you'll use the style tag and double quotes. And here you'll have your content. Okay. After explaining this, I want to understand whether you are able to catch up the terms. When it comes to style, here you'll specify the property colon value, semicolon, property colon value, semicolon. You can keep on typing like this. Okay. Tag name, Style, this is what I'm explaining, inline styling. Property, value, property, value. You have to understand the syntax here. First comes property, colon, value, semicolon, property, colon, value. Okay, let us apply this knowledge now. I want the color property to be red, semicolon. Font size. This is how you have to type, colon, uh, 15 pixel, semicolon. Okay. Let us see this. Control O, example2.html. So what do you observe? We know the tag, marquee tag, we know it. Now we are trying to understand styling. Style, attribute, don't forget the basics, HTML. This is my property, this is my value. This is my property, this is my value. So to make it very much visible, I'll make it as 45. What I should do, I should reload the browser. What do you observe? The color is changed, right? Now you have to explore the CSS properties. Property value, property value, property value. Okay. So the next example, so this is my inline. Okay, this is my inline. Style, property value. Now I want to explain you people how to write an internal one. Okay, I want to write it for internal one. So if I want to write it for internal one, so I'll take the example of the marquee tag. So now I'll be writing the style tag, open, the style tag, close, the marquee tag, open, and the marquee tag, closed. And here it is hello world. I'll call this one as example 3.html. And now I'll be explaining the next syntax. So this is my first syntax, which is inline. If I want an internal one, this is how it goes. Style tag, then comes your selector. Flower bracket open close. Then comes property colon value, semicolon, preferably in the next line, property colon value, semicolon. So selector, I'll explain the selector in detail. So tomorrow we'll be discussing on external. I don't want to just rush here. I just want to explain you people the basics. So this one is inline styling and this one is my internal. Now I will take two examples, okay? This one and this one. So now here is my example 3. You'll see nothing, right? I will write selector, marquee, flower bracket open close. Property is red. Sorry, color is the property. Red is the value, semicolon. Save it and reload it. Is it working? Yes, it's working. Then comes the property font size. When you have two words, you have to use hyphen. Font size, this is the syntax. Font size, 45 pixel. Save it, reload it. You might be wondering, what is the difference? So to make it simple and easy, I'll go with example 2 file. This is my marquee tag 1. This is marquee tag 2. And here it will be hello CSS. Okay, I'll open a new tab. Control O, example 2. Observe the difference. What do you observe? The first tag is applied with your CSS, but not the second one, correct? Why? Because you don't have an inline styling. This is applied only to this marquee, not this one. In this example, you have a marquee tag. And if you have two marquee tags, you have two marquee tags like hello world and hello CSS. both will be applied with this styling. So this is my example 3 file. I'll reload it. You can observe that apply. As and when we progress, we deep dive into those things. But for now, I'm keeping it simple with terminologies. In HTML, you have to learn 3 terminologies: tag, attribute, value, and this is the syntax. In the second one, you have to go with tag name, property, and value, which we basically call it as a selector. Let me not confuse. Let me put it as a word selector. Selector, property, and value. This is our inline styling, internal styling. You have to learn all the 3. And today I've explained the syntax of inline styling and the syntax of internal styling. Inline styling is done with the help of attribute. Hope you now know what is attribute, which is in HTML. Internal styling is done with the help of a tag. External styling is done with the help of a file, which will be name.css. This will be named, which we will be picking tomorrow, not today. I just want to help you people go back, practice this, type it manually, everything, and create your own Excel file and try to start learning your CSS. For example, I want to learn CSS. Okay. What is the suggestion? Make use of the one which is available on the market. Go here, CSS. You have a huge list here, selectors. Start learning all these selectors. Okay. Text align center, color. So learn this text align, color. List the properties. For background, we have background color, background image, background repeat, background attached, background. So for each of them is property. At least learn 5 properties in a day. CSS. Okay. If you are learning HTML, try to learn at least 5 tags in a day. Don't worry. I'm just giving the basic examples. What all the things you people have to learn. At least 5 will be good for a beginner. And if you learn this, according to my training, we are done with HTML. Do we have links to learn? Yes, we have to learn the versioning concept, what are the different versions we have, CSS3, Bootstrap, and many more. But this is the very basic. This is your HTML. This is your CSS terminologies or technical terms. This is inline styling syntax, and this is internal styling syntax. Follow my screen, try to type all these things, understand tag, attribute, value. This is my tag, this is my attribute, property and value. Property, value, property, value. If you start coming with these terms, you are halfway done with HTML and CSS both. But JavaScript is a programming which we will be picking later. Okay. With this, I'll give a pause on video number 2 and I'll stop my screen sharing. Thank you.